Now for the latest from the racetrack, here's ABC's Dylan Godet with today's Motorsports Monday.
Welcome into Motorsports Monday. It may be football season now, but it's still racing season for many, including NASCAR, who's made the trip to Texas to kick off the round of 12 in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs this weekend. We picked this one up with under 30 laps to go. A late race caution erases a sizable Kyle Larson lead. Larson is battling on the restart with Bubba Wallace, both sending it into turn one, but Larson goes around and slams hard into the outside wall. This would take Larson out of contention for the win after he dominated for much of the race and moves him near the playoffs cut line points-wise. Next restart now, Bubba Wallace gets a huge jump on the restart, but chaos ensues behind him as Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones both hit the outside wall off turn 4, sending multiple drivers spinning, including playoff driver Ryan Blaney. Other playoff drivers with issues in this race, including Kyle Busch, who wrecked early on due to a tire issue. Now on to the next restart. Bubba Wallace trying to hold off hard-charging Chase Briscoe, but they slow each other down just a bit, and that's enough for William Byron to surge past both drivers, 3 wide down the backstretch. What a power move there by Byron. He ends up sliding past Wallace and pulling away in the closing laps. What a wild last few laps after a relatively quiet race up to that point. William Byron picks up his 6th win of the season. That is 3 more than anyone else has picked up so far this season. Here's a look at the top 5 from this one. A big race for Ross Chastain. He needed a big point stay, and he got it, finishing 2nd after having a strong run all day long. Bubba Wallace finishes a frustrating 3rd after leading a race-high 111 laps. The Joe Gibbs Toyotas of Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin round out the top 5. Here's a look at the updated playoff standings after the first race of the round of 12. William Byron, who was already the points leader, secures his spot in the round of 8. Kyle Busch, after crashing early in this race, is now at the bottom of the playoff standings. Kyle Larson also drops all the way to 8th after his crash. Bubba Wallace was in a bit of a hole points-wise starting the round of 12 and still finds himself below the cut line with 2 races left. Bubba Wallace would have really jumbled up these playoff standings had he won that race at Texas. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Talladega in what is almost sure to be a wild race next Sunday. We, of course, have highlights next week in Motorsports Monday. On to local racing now. Unfortunately, I was unable to get to any of the tracks this weekend. I was actually filling in for meteorologist Jordan Smith, but it was a packed schedule. Lake Cumberland Speedway had a big night on Saturday, highlighted by the 100-lap hobby stocks feature for the Paul Evans Memorial. That feature was won by Logan Preston. Skylar Marlar won the late models feature. Brian Nance gets the modifieds win. George Warning won the Legend Series race. Cool note here, Tony Stort's dad, Nelson Stort, finished 2nd. Cool to see him in attendance for that race. And Eric Parton rounds out the night winning the mini stocks. Rockcastle Speedway also in action for a regular points night. Jeff Watson, who we have mentioned before, gets the Pro Late Model feature win. JT Ayers with the modifieds win. Pete Wright wins in super stocks, and your mini stocks feature was Derek Dugan, with Clint Cox winning the Hornets feature. And here is a new one for y'all. Saturday was the grand reopening of 191 Speedway in Campton. Cool to see yet another track added to the local dirt racing scene. Derek Fisher takes home $1,500 in the super late models feature. Your mods winner was James Grigsby. Jason Hall won the super stocks feature, with Evan Robertson winning sport mods. To end the night, Brandon Fannin won the Hornets feature. It's another packed weekend of racing, local dirt racing, including a huge doubleheader weekend at Richmond Raceway. We'll have those highlights next week in Motorsports Monday. See y'all then.